The fact that I'm a sommelier today is all because of me going there and because of the GM and how he kind of pointed me, not kind of, he literally pointed me in the right direction.
So you mentioned a moment ago about your fine dining experience. So let's switch over to that. Let's talk about early on, a big learning lesson for you when you were in your first few restaurants. Is there an early memory that sticks out that you learned a big lesson from?
Well, I have to go to, that's an interesting thing. I mentioned some things earlier on. First was the two maitre d's. One of them is still alive. His son and his little daughter, when we were all kids, we went to the American school together in Spain, where his wife and the kids were living, and he lived here, setting up everything for them to come eventually. But anyway, the other person that's the person who's alive. The other person who passed away already, his name was John Fossati, and he was the maitre d' of Dionysus. He was also the maitre d' of the Persian room in the Plaza Hotel in its heyday when it was, I'm sure you've heard of the Persian room. And anyway, long story short, he was the maitre d' of Dionysus, a high-end Greek restaurant back then. We're going back, some years, 1982. And anyway, interesting thing, though, the name of the restaurant, remember that. Okay. And he took me to Club 101 when he, and I was a busboy at Dionysus. I was, I was a kid, and, just out of high school, basically, and, thinking about where I'm going to go to college and, working. And I remember walking into Club 101, and the place hadn't been finished yet. It was still under construction. We had about 2 months to go before the grand opening. And we're walking in with Armando Gamba, which is the other maitre d', which his kids and I went to the same American school in Spain. His son was in the same class as me. And so they introduced me and all that. And the next thing, and the GM that became the person that was a mentor of mine, Michael Green, he said, "So what do you want to apply for?" And I said, as a waiter. And John Fossati, the maitre d', said, "Where are you getting that kind of courage from?" No, he's going to be a busboy. I'm like, oh, God, I hate you. Anyway, he had the right idea in hindsight, obviously. Don't jump your gun. Just stay in line. And I learned a lot thanks to all that. But I was also pretty much a floozy, not in a bad way. A floozy meaning, I knew everything. I knew where every nut and bolt was in that place. I knew where every crack and crevice was. I knew everything about service, about the products we had. We had 21 different menu cycles, okay? Because it was a members club. So you could not, and it was modern. It was like the same thing as the Four Seasons, the pool room, same kind of dining room, super high ceilings, modern. It's still open today. And I go there from time to time to say hi. I get a free lunch out of it, and it's very nice. But anyway, the lessons that I learned there were so many of them. The fact that I'm a sommelier today is all because of me going there and because of the GM and how he, he kind of pointed me, not kind of, he literally pointed me in the right direction.
Is there a specific moment that you remember when the light bulb went off and you said, "I love this, this is for me"?
Yeah, there was actually. There was a captain there. I forget his name right now. Oh God. I wish I remembered his name. He passed away. He passed away in the late 80s of things that happened in the 80s that we lost a lot of our friends through.
Yeah.
it's a little emotional, but he was a really nice guy, really nice person, and he loved service, and he loved the business, and he knew, and he actually had quite a bit of experience. And this was a part-time job for him. For me, it was still full-time, and it was full-time because I, did all the other stuff that had to be done. We were only open for lunch. It was a luncheon club, but I worked 9 to 5. So, he loved service. And when he and I worked together, sometimes there were, larger tables, not sometimes, many times. And we did synchronized service that others didn't. And he was like, this is how we're going to do it. And he would show me what he wanted me to do, and I would follow along. And it was great. It was like almost, like those water ballet. What do they call those people that do water ballet? Is it?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
water dancing. Yeah.
Water, synchronized something.
Synchronized swimming. There you go. Synchronized swimming.
So, we were doing synchronized service, and I remember like the next day, I was on my way to work, public transportation, and I was thinking about this and how, we did that and how great the service was that the day before. And it was just a good feeling. And I was like, really, I really like this. I really love it. And I really started, I get goose. You don't see it, but I got chicken skin going on right now underneath the suit. And it was really something else. That was really like a turning point. And then we had the classes, like I mentioned, during the summer, summer months and all that, basically at the same time. And it all came together. And I learned so much at that place.